So, Patriena, how are you?
Hi, Shadran. Morning. I am good. How are you? Are you
I'm good,
here
I'm good, I'm good.
properly?
I'm trying to get some coffee in to do some mental health work as well.
All right.
Right, and how are you? Yesterday
I
fine, right?
am. Yes, I am good.
Great. So let's dive right into it. Before we go into World Mental Health Day and before we go into the Reset Hub, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So I am Patriena, entrepreneur, owner of Modest Scentsations, by extension, the Reset Hub. I have 3 kids, a husband, and I am full time in this entrepreneurial journey. I came out of an 11-year corporate journey. So I am full in here and enjoying every moment of it, the good, the bad, the ups, the down.
Alright, so what about you that goes into this business? Let's connect you into the business before we go into the business.
So what connects me? Um, Stress, because leaving corporate or actually in corporate, you have so many different roles to play. Besides being corporate, like I said, I'm a mother and a wife, and I started the business while I was in corporate. So it was so many different hats. And while I was pregnant with my last daughter, I was diagnosed with hypertension. So all of that tied into, helping or assisting, what can I do for myself to alleviate some of my stress naturally, because I'm not one to take meds. So how can I do it? What can I do? And when I started the business, it was just about just mixing scents, making candles. And that really just take me to a place that, okay, I got you. I see what this is doing. And coming home from work, I literally just started to make candles every evening, just for making candles' sake, just mixing those scents. And it kind of took me, it literally calmed me down, took my mind somewhere else. So I'm not focused on work, I'm not focused on the house, I'm not focused on the kids. It's just me in that little zone, just making sense. And my mind is just going all over the place, just not thinking about anything at all. And I was like, oh, this is something that I can do. And I think that persons would want this. So that is how it kind of tied back in. And I'm also like, I enjoy dabbling in coloring. So I kind of just merged everything together.
Patriena, you hear me clearly? I just lost audio.
You hearing me?
I'm hearing you now, yes.
Okay.
Lost
Yeah.
your audio for a while.
So,
Yeah. So,
so I kind of just merged all of that, what I used to do in my downtime after home, into one business.
nice. So, we talked a little bit about you. I know you mentioned the business, but can I tell us a little bit about Modest Sensation?
Ah, Modest Scentsations. Modest Scentsations really just started as candles, scented candles only. And like I said, that took me to my happy place. Making it took me to my happy place. And when I started out of my kitchen, I took some on work because I was still in corporate. And I took some and I asked the girls and how do you, just try it? Tell me how it performs. And they took it and I was like, you're going to start a business with us? And I was like, well, okay, I'll think about it. And no, they said that they was like, but Patriena, when I leave these candles open in my bathroom and I just go, I don't even have to light it. You could give Bath and Body Works competition. And I was like, what? You're crazy. Because we talking about Bath and Body Works here, you're crazy. And I went home, talked about it, I pondered. So I told my husband, I said, here what? I'm going to try it, I'm going to do it, but I don't want to go the direction that how I started. So for those of you who've been following Modest Scentsations, I had clear glass jars, colored candles, and stuff like that. I said that is not what I want the brand to be. right? So I was like, I wanted to be a little more upscale because I like nice things, a little more on the luxurious side, but focus on scents. So I want a good looking jar, but I definitely wanted to smell good, and I want a different type of scent, not the regular scents that persons would have, like the lavender and the basic floral and those. I do want scents to help persons to feel some type of way, not just basic. And that's how Modest Sensations was baited. And from candles, we moved on to reed diffusers and room sprays. That is because of my husband. Because when I start with one thing, I kind of like to focus on one thing. But then he was like, Patriena, you're done doing it already. Why not try something else? Hesitant, but I still did it. And to date, reed diffusers are one of our best sellers besides the candles.
Sometimes you don't know where the best ideas may come from, right? And it just
Correct.
and adds. So, and I think so I think for you, making sense just makes sense, right?
Correct. It does.
So we're talking about mental health here as well, and I know the research hub kind of focuses on that. And I'm seeing it in the hub right now. I, I might ask you to give us a little circle around if you could at the end of
Of
as
course.
well. But let's talk about the birth of this idea of the research.
Okay, so about 2 or 3 years in doing Modest Sensations, I said I just wanted more. And wanting more, not just I want to make more products or want to make more money. I want to do more in terms of I have a natural ability in helping persons, right? My friends, family, persons, they will just come to me and I will share advice because for me it's like it's not mine. It's for everybody to know. Whatever I know, I have no issue in sharing. It's for everybody because everybody's circumstance would be different. And I just have a feeling that I want to do more. I want to help women, mainly women. Men enjoy the space as well as the scent. But to help us to, find that balance, to find that reason to continue to do what we have to do. Because at the end of it, I still believe that the man job is to provide, to assist, and we are there to nurture and to love and to guide. For me, that's the job of a woman. Yes, we can work. Yes, we have that independence, but we are created to be loving, nurturing beings. And we cannot do that if our mind is going crazy all the time. If it's completely filled. And I'm saying, how can I do something more for us? And I said, I want to create like a candle spa. I saw my husband, I said, David, I want to create a candle spa. I want a place where persons can just come as soon as they walk in, they feel like a weight lifted off their shoulders. They literally feel like, okay. And it doesn't have to be for long. And, I plan and working and I was like, but where we get the money? I need a space. Things don't happen like this in Trinidad, especially in South. And it took us a while, even when we found this space. To be quite honest, the Reset Hub was supposed to open since March of this year. And sometimes things happen for a reason, you never know what. But as time goes, you start to see, the vision and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? The space is for persons to just come, relax, de-stress. I do want to encourage corporates as well to give their employees, time that encourage them to de-stress because it helps. And coming out of corporate, I definitely know that. Persons want a team building experience that encourages them that to know that their employers care about, that side of it, their personal, their mental. And with that, it also helps them to be a little more productive. Because when you don't work hard, and you go home, let's just say you came and you do a session and you make a candle, you go home to relax, you go home to clear your mind. And then you can actually come back to work the next morning a little bit more settled. You know, so that's how the Reset Hub was with it. I just wanted to create a space where persons could just come and exhale.
So, I mean, you mentioned a word before called balance, right? And I think balance is really where it connects that mental health. So, do you think an entrepreneur could ever find balance in their life?
No. I think the best and worst combination is to be a mother and an entrepreneur. Because we already know a mother's job is never done. We're going 24/7. We say the same thing for entrepreneurs. Because when we lie down to sleep when the night comes, our mind won't switch off. We're thinking about, you know, the next thing. What can we do next? What I didn't do today, how I could do it tomorrow. And I think we can find that balance if we intentionally search for it. Because being in business, this is our 5th year. And I think those of us who are in business for that period of time is not realizing that, one, we cannot do everything ourselves. While we may want to, we cannot. Something will suffer, or some things may suffer. And we are realizing that we do have to take some of corporate and merge it into entrepreneurship. Because corporate, they do work 24/7. They have an opening and a closing. They have persons to do accounting and their books and marketing and all of those things. So once we find that, okay, I can handle 5 out of the 10 tasks that my business to do, let me work on how I could outsource some of these things. Yes, it's going to cost. However, it will cost you more in the long run if you don't get it together now. And that's how we have to find that balance. We have to be very real and honest with ourselves that we cannot do it all. And we have to intentionally take that time to breathe. We have to take the time to breathe. A friend was joking with me and telling me that the hairdresser's hair is never done. Your nail tech, nails are never dead. So I now Reset Hub, I suffer with hypertension. How ironic, right? So we have to find a balance. We have to find and be intentional about it. And I think as entrepreneurs, those of us who are in business for a while, at least 5 years plus, are realizing that that is the only way that our business is going to continue to grow. If we are intentional about winding down, it's not about a hustle. We cannot run our business hustling. We have to take some form of corporate and incorporate it into entrepreneurship and being a sole trader, because that is how we're going to find the time for ourselves, because that is why we chose it. We want time, we want freedom, we want this. But we have to put it in place. We have to say, okay, not today, we're locking off, I'm going to do this. Whether it's 20 minutes, I'm going to just breathe. I'm going to just sip a cup of coffee, sip a glass of wine. I'm just going to breathe to give my mind that space. And then you realize that in that silence, something that you could do, something comes up for you to be a little more effective and productive.
I think as an entrepreneur, you always find yourself in either survival mode, or you might want to call it firefighter mode, because you're only putting out fires, and you're making time. You're making a lot of time for the business, but are you making time for yourself? And I think going back to what you said, you have to be intentional about it, right? So when we talk about mental health, and we had a workshop earlier this year called that entrepreneur needs to be his chief health officer, right? So who is the one taking care of everybody's health? And that really needs to be the entrepreneur, right? I mean, I know you're talking about your physical health, but we're also talking about your mental health as well.
Yep.
Are you taking care of you? How are you taking care of your team? And if the team is you, how are you taking care of how are you taking care?
Correct.
Right? As much as you spend time with the business, but how are you intentionally taking care of yourself?
Correct.
So I would ask that question to you. How are you intentionally taking care of yourself?
Well, for me, I intentionally take care of myself most time by just switching off. And when I say switching off, I mean my kids know that, hey, time to give mommy a little. When they see mommy coloring or just on my phone scrolling, that means mommy brain is going down. Because I'm overthinking. And I realize, and our body speaks to us, right? I realize that when I am overstimulated or overthinking, I start to snap. I go very loud. A simple question annoys me. Very simple, like, mommy, what we eating tonight? And I started, you know what? I started saying, I know when I'm getting to that point, so I cut off before they. My body starts to speak to me, and I would just pick up my journal and I would start to color. Or I would say, you know what? I'm going to light a candle because that does something for me. Or I'm just going to lie down and close my eyes. I'm not going to sleep, but I'm just going to lie down and do nothing at all. And that is how I bring myself back. I either do coloring, I would light a candle, or I would absolutely do nothing. Nothing at all. And 20 minutes of that, sometimes half hour, I would then get up and say, okay, time to make dinner. Or I didn't do this today, so that is something for me to do. And that is how I do it. I don't do it in hours or, say, today is that day, I'm not doing nothing at all. Every day, because of how I keep going and going, I will take a 20 minutes, a half an hour out of that and say, time to do nothing, Patriena. Because now I'm becoming a little bit overstimulated and I don't want that. I want a healthy relationship with my kids. I want it in my home. I even want it with myself. And I find that I be harsh on myself if I realize that I didn't complete this today. But I didn't complete it today because I've been working tirelessly for months trying to get this space open. So you know what? Let me give myself a little grace.
And sometimes you need to reset, like reset as well. Bring yourself back at 100 because you've kind of been operating at 70%
Correct.
or even lower for a while now, right? And in order to really be your true self and to actually fulfill what you need to be doing, you actually need to be at 100%. I mean, we want to say 120%, but
Correct.
something 100% is really where we want to be at, right?
Correct.
And figuring out how we get back there. So was there any point in time, and I know you give me the example about your kids, but any point in time in business when you realize that I'm operating at 70% and it's to go down to 40, and I must recognize the importance of managing my mental health. Was there any trigger that you could remember?
Oh, yes. And Shadron, that didn't just affect my business, it affected my personal as well. In about, that's what, June, July, that literally happened to me. I was out of fuel, out of it. For days, I did nothing. Nothing. And persons were coming to me and, they were asking for, they going through whatever they're going through. And I'm realizing that I am not the person that they would usually come to. Because I would be quick on the draw to assist. And I realized that I can't assist. I can't give words of advice. I can't give, examples. And I did nothing at all. The space, I told it was open in March, then it was open in July. And I didn't do anything. I was like, I can't do anything. I can't open. I can't do anything. And I had to take a step back. And with taking that step back, I realized that I've been pouring out of a half-filled or nearly empty cup. And I had to fill that cup up. And he said, usually, we try to get at 100, but we still cannot. What I've realized is that we still cannot pour out of 100, children. We have to pour out of that 20 extra.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have for myself, I have to realize that I cannot give. And I have to be okay with that. I had to come to a point where, because I'm always giving, I had to realize that I had to say, Patriena, you need to understand that while this is your personality, this is your vibe, this is you always want to help, I cannot help if I am not at 100. Because then I am doing myself and that person an injustice. So I had to step back for weeks. I had to recuperate. I had to fill myself up, reading the word of God, just hydrating, eating, probably going to do my hair or something. But I had to fill me back up, because then I was spinning up in mud in this space. I wasn't doing anything. I was just coming, wasting time, closing the door, going. Mind you, the rent was still being paid. My children still had to eat, so I wasn't making anything, but I was still giving. We still had to give. So I realized that I'm at that point. I really have to fill myself back up. And I really don't want to get to that point again at all. So I started, doing that intermittent every day. Every day, fill yourself back up. Every day, pour back into yourself because you're giving out. So fill yourself back up. What do? I pray, so that my entire routine has changed. Before I wake up and face the world, pray. Deep conversation with God to fill myself, so I don't know what is happening outside there. So let me arm myself before I go out into the world. Hydration, coloring during the day. And if I find I'm going down, read a word again or remind myself. And then I continue, because I definitely don't want to go back to that place.
And sometimes you might see yourself like a zombie. You're just moving from task to task, to task, to task. And you don't even know if you're doing the task good, you just know it's getting completed. And you're just moving from task. Right? So I think, we almost before we get to that half hour bridge, I don't know if you want to give us a little tour,
Oh.
Let
me see if I can switch. Of course, let me start from by the door. So you walk in to the Reset Hub. And so we have our little comfy corner here. This is where we'll do our team building or de-stressing exercises, depending on who is here. We have our wall of words, more so our affirmation wall. So we have different words that you can pull out from that may resonate with you on a daily. We have our nice cozy corner because we love Christmas, right? We have our foot massager. And of course, you can shop all Modest Sensation products.
And I feel some of the products move out already, so.
Oh, yes. And I'm restocking. So you see the table, I'm restocking and I'm preparing for Christmas samples too.
All right, nice.
And our mental health line. So we have a full mental health candle line, a full candle line that is only geared towards, that while our products assist in it, I realize that certain scents do a little more than others. And I tested while, the process of the Reset Hub, and I came up with 7 specific scents just for mental health. What is to energize you, wind you down, help you to rest. We have Refresher, that is a little bit of grapefruit and mint in there. We have Energize with lemon and lime. We have mint for you, that's peppermint and eucalyptus and stuff like that. We have Spa View to give you that staycation at home where you can just envision that you're lying down in a spa and somebody massaging your feet. We have Exhale, that is a little bit of like sage with lavender in it, is a mix. And we have Clear Waters for those who like cucumber and watermelon, the little refresher. All of those are available in our mental health line only. It's a 12-ounce candle. So it looks like this. This is our 12-ounce candle. And this is what you'll get for our mental health line. This is priced at like $325. And that gives you more than 80 to 90 hours brain time once you brain it correctly. Proper candle cake.
And I've been to the place, so I know the couch. The couch already looking like people want to sleep on the couch because they want to be so relaxed. Anybody fall asleep as yet?
Listen, mind you, I did get my bell and I go ding. That time, yeah. Because there's a line between resetting and sleeping.
Well, it's a fine line. Let's say that. So, I mean, let's kind of wrap this up. And I think I want you to give some advice to entrepreneurs like yourself who may be finding it hard to find that balance, or even getting to that reset space, right? What advice would you give persons, entrepreneurs in particular?
I think I would give to them just like I give to myself. Be honest. Because we think that we can do it all. I really need us to be honest with ourselves and understand that the entrepreneurial journey doesn't end. And it can only go the way that we want it to go if we be honest with ourselves. We have to set aside the time. Right. The time that we put in our business, we have to give a portion of that to ourselves. Because we are the business, yes, but we are also ourselves. We also have to depend and focus and keep ourselves healthy. So be honest. You can't do it by yourself. Be intentional about setting that time. Of course, the Reset Hub is here for that purpose. If you can't reach this month or next month, take a 20 minutes out of your day to breathe, to exhale, to pause, and give yourself the grace, because whatever task, we are going to complete it. And you said earlier, it's how we complete it. How good are we completing it if we are not at 100? So I think that is my advice. Be honest with yourselves. Be intentional to take that time. Set aside the time on a monthly, on a daily, on a weekly, depending on how you run your business, but take that pause. Of course, a little plug, we do have subscriptions on a monthly basis if you all want to, be more intentional and have a space filled with scents and coloring therapy and stuff like that. The space is for you. It is for us to de-stress, to relax. Pause, inhale, and exhale.
All right, and as you continue to plug, let persons know where they can find you.
Of course, you can find us on all social media platforms at Modest Scentsations. Our WhatsApp number is 772-9627, and the Reset Hub is located on the corner of Southern Main Road and Jarvis Street, Vista Bella. Very easy to find. It's a blue building on the corner. We on Waze, Google Maps, just Google Modest Scentsations, and you're gonna get the location.
Great. So folks, as always, it's been real.
It's been nice.
It's been real nice. And to end it off, let's remember to be intentional about managing your mental health. Not just because today is World Mental Health Day, but as an entrepreneur, as you go through your entire journey, please make sure you take that into account as much as you're taking into account managing your cash flow or managing your sales. All right, so folks, we see you all again and we'll be in touch. Take care.
Bye.